to another edition of Brews and Crews. I am your host, Chris Jacobson, and today we have a guest, and he is the guest that I have known the least on this podcast because I've known him for less than 2 weeks.
Yep.
Thomas Gary is on the podcast today, and actually some people might actually know you from some of your YouTubes, which we'll get into, maybe some TikToks.
Yeah.
But I met Thomas at Dahl Automotive Toyota in Winona, where he just sold me my truck that I just bought and traded in literally 8 days ago.
Yep.
So welcome to the podcast, Thomas.
Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me.
And you requested some whiskey, which that's a very common theme on this podcast, it seems like. It's called
People
Brews
love
and
their
Crews.
whiskeys.
It's called Brews and Crews, but now it's going to be called Bourbons and Crews or something eventually. I don't know. But you just said, hey, surprise me on this, and that's what I did. So today we're going to drink a whiskey, bourbon whiskey from Driftless Glen, which is from Baraboo, Wisconsin. Okay. I've been there twice in my life and recently for my bachelor party. And so we're going to try this on the rocks. I do have ice if you like that, or if you want it straight up, that's cool.
That'll be the ice for sure. I'm
an ice guy too.
Yeah.
Now, there's been talks that like if you put that in there, it's kind of against it, but most bourbon connoisseurs that I talk to, they say, it's your preference. You bought it. So,
and most of the time they have that little nice, expensive. If you're that into it, you'll have the ice, little, the non. What is it? Where they have the ice where it doesn't just taste the flavor of it.
So
whatever.
I do have those, but I didn't have them with me tonight because I don't literally live here. But a buddy just gave me some of those rocks.
I have some of those too.
Yeah.
He went on a trip. Oh, where did he go? He went on a trip and brought back, and they're like little cubes.
Yep.
You freeze them, and they basically do it like that, where they don't change the taste of the overall, flavor of it. So, I'm ready for it. Okay?
Let's do it. Yep. So I'm going to crack this bad boy open. It's literally brand new.
It's a nice bottle too.
So the cool thing about this is not only have I been there, but on the bottom of this it says small batch 59, and then it also says that it was bottled by someone named Angelica. So shout out to Angelica.
That's pretty cool.
I will tag Driftless Glen in this.
That's pretty cool that they do that.
Yeah, so I actually put this in the refrigerator before you came just to get a little chilled because I like chilled stuff. I don't know if you're into chilled or what.
So I'm not really I like drinking, but it's not like I'm getting more into wine actually.
Oh, really?
But the crazy when I say wine, it's like the basic of the basic wines, honestly. But sometimes now when I'm relaxing, I'll do wine instead of anything else, honestly. So, but when I go out, I'm a Long Island. Ooh, that sounded good.
That sounded good. Yes. Now on this, it says that this October, our small batch bourbon is pink in honor of breast cancer awareness. So this is from October.
Okay.
Cool. So I got us some ice here. We're getting fancy because now I have the gold case. So yeah, you can pour or put as much ice as you want in, pour as much as you want. I'm just gonna take a little bit of ice. I'll put some in my glass. You take as much as you want on yours. It's about what I like.
Yep.
So yeah, this is a bourbon whiskey. It's just straight bourbon whiskey, it says. So I got them. There's different things, and people know more about this than I do, but I'm just learning it.
Yep, I try not to honestly, like how you're talking more about it.
Yep.
I let that happen because I don't know a lot about
Me either.
different types of whiskeys or anything like that. I am just more, like I said, of when I go out, it'll be a Long Island iced tea consistently. And then some people make it stronger than others, you know, and you can tell right away after the first sip, you know.
Cool. Well, let's cheers, man.
Cheers.
Ooh,
yeah.
That's not bad.
That's
not
bad
bad.
at all.
So Driftless Glen, I hope you're listening because I've been there for my bachelor party. Food's amazing there. The distillery place is very upscale feeling. But yeah, it looks like it's, I don't know if there's any donations going to breast cancer awareness because of this, but if so, it's a beautiful bottle. It caught my eye, basically, is what it did. So it caught my eye.
Do you know how much it would be? How much a bottle of that is?
That's 60.
60? Okay.
Yep. So, funny thing is people say, oh, yeah, well, that's like an entry-level whiskey. I'm like, for me, that's like mid-level to me because I bought some that were like $100 and I thought I was paying
for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
for me, that's high end. Honestly,
it's kind of high end
Yeah.
for me too, but we're not ballers yet.
No, I'm used to back in college. It was like Rich and Rare R&R. Like I'm talking about like for a fifth, like $10.
Oh damn!
And I'm talking, it's getting the job done. That's all.
Yeah, well, that's all it's for, is getting the job done.
No, but yeah.
As you get older, yeah, I think you're kind of savoring it for the flavor.
Oh, yeah.
It is an acquired taste for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because at first I was like, okay, but then I've also said the same thing about beer because I like IPAs.
Okay.
And at first I was like, oh, it's got to be like Bud Light, McGolden. That's about what I can.
So
handle.
you started off with the Bud Light and then it got to the point.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of in the same type of like realm right now where
Sure.
like I love my taste buds. One, like I don't really dislike a lot of things honestly, and I understand when I'm drinking. I know it's not supposed to be oh my god, but if it's like if it's smooth when you drink it and it's not overbearing when it comes to like the overall aftertaste, I find that like that's a very nice drink.
Yes.
Now I don't know what the overall, if that's what they go for anyways when they make a very expensive drink or when they put a lot of effort into it to make it very soothing and everything, but I like when I can drink it. And then afterwards, I'm done, and I don't like sit here and be like, "Oh my goodness!" Like when it's like burning the chest halfway through. I'm like, "Yeah," but I like this. This is good.
This is not burning your throat. No. And I know exactly what you're talking about. A couple weeks ago, I had a guy come on, and he had all the way up to like 100 and some odd proof, and that it burned going down a little bit.
Yeah.
Not that it was just like, you got to get used to that, but this one is quite smooth, and I like it on the rocks because I do like it. So someone I once read, it's like if you put a dab of water in it, it's supposed to make the taste a little different.
Yeah.
This is definitely kind of the same idea in my mind, is doing this.
And that's fine with me. I honestly, to me, some people take it really serious.
Yeah.
And I guess if you're in that business, and like for taste testing and stuff like that, you wanted to get the pure of the taste for it.
Absolutely.
But for situations like this, or for when people are just drinking and it's not like a taste test, I don't think it matters that much for sure. But when it gets to that, like I can imagine going to a high end like restaurant or something like that, and you ask for something like this, and they bring out that little distilled ice and try to make it look all fancy, but it's just more money. And it's like, is it really worth it? Like the experience is one thing, but does it really taste different to the average person? Probably not.
Probably not to the average person. You'd really have to be a connoisseur, I feel, to understand and recognize the flavors.
Yeah.
And I'm still getting there. I don't even know. But when it comes to an IPA beer, I can definitely tell the difference. And now I'm able to tell people, hey, what kind of beer do you normally like? And then I can usually point you in the direction if you go to like a brewery or something. I can be like, oh, go up there. This is what you're going to want, most likely. So now you said you're getting into wine.
Yes.
Okay.
So
now you said it's very base.
Very base.
Okay.
So it's my girlfriend loves Sauvignon Blanc.
Okay.
And when I say we probably tried we just tried different types of that, right? And then we'll get into some reds or what. She doesn't really like red, but I'm not even. How do I explain it? The way when I go to a store, like I just went to the store the other day. And it was a guy in there doing taste testing for some, seltzer or whatever. I was just like, he did the taste. I was like, oh, that's not bad. And I just bought it, right? It's called Sprinter, and I'm just like, why not try it, whatever. But that's how I am. Like, it doesn't take much. I'm probably an easy sell. Like, I'm very like easy to sell. Like, so if you tell me it tastes good and it actually tastes good, I don't mind supporting you or anything like that. So when it comes to wine, like obviously lighter wine is more, like light and fruitful, what you want to say, but the dark wine sometimes, the red wine, when you're sitting there, it's more of a like this type of vibe. I feel like when you're sitting there, kind of relaxing. I wouldn't be playing 2K drinking red wine,
Why not? Why not?
But that to me, playing 2K, you want to. I'm more in the light wine, you're doing that, but. If you're just kind of relaxing, watching a movie with your girl and everything like that, red wine would definitely be something that's like, and it's apparently very healthy for you.
Well, I guess they have antioxidants in them. I mean, whatever that instills, I think it's 1 glass a day is supposed to be decent for you. I guess it's better than probably what we're drinking. Who knows?
But hey.
Now, at first, when I started drinking wine, I was like, oh, I need something sweet. But now I'm more into the semi-sweet. So it can't be too dry, can't be too sweet. I get gut rot fast. And so, have you been to any of the wineries around here?
So El Morro. Yeah. But apparently it's one up on the bluff, but I don't.
Garvin Heights.
But apparently it's like super small. But trust me, maybe they need more advertisement. But I have not been up there. And apparently there's a lot around here.
Yes, you're talking about Garvin Heights Winery, and you're correct. There's not that much advertising for the community. But we've been there actually, and it's a really beautiful place. You look out and you look over their winery, and then obviously you're up on top of the bluffs in Winona here. You're in town. But when you go up there, it's actually very beautiful. So and it's just literally a 5-minute drive.
Yeah.
So
I might have to try that because I know other people have been there, but I'm like, you don't see anything about. I've not seen not one thing other than word of mouth.
Right.
You know, but for El Mauro, you see something on Facebook. They're hosting an event. They got live music there too. But apparently the one on top it's not Garvin Heights isn't that big. So
you would literally probably drive right by it, not even know, and probably think it's a house.
Probably.
It is
that makes
smaller,
sense.
but it is nice inside. It's beautiful. And then there's some other ones like Pepin has a really once like Bella Valiza or something. That one's really nice. Got food. It's almost like going back to Italy. Okay. And then there's one in Elma's, another one, and they're all along here. It's like breweries are just popping up absolutely everywhere. So that's a good place to go and try different wines because they literally let you come in usually for free or $5 and taste 4 or 5 of them, and then you choose. And it's a kind of a fun experience. I'm not big into wine, but I'm starting to get more into it because my wife is actually into wine more than she's into most other things. Yeah. So I'm always like, you know what? I have not had a wine person on here yet. So if you would have said wine, I'd be like, you're my first wine person, and that would have been awesome. But
I think the overall thing too with wine, it comes off as more feminine too. Like it's more of a situation where like when you asked, I did not think of wine at all. I instantly thought some strong or something,
manly
a beer,
stuff.
something. I instantly thought of that, and like I think being with my girl, like it's like she likes it, so it's like once I try it, I'm like, I mean, and you kind of get carried away sometimes with the light, and all of a sudden now you're hitting it, and it's cheaper too. I don't like the bottles because I feel like you get 3, cups out of it.
Yeah, like 3 or 4.
Yeah, the overall boxes of it, like you get so much out of that. I don't understand it, and it's around the same price.
Yeah, get the box wine.
Yeah, box wine, you get so much more out of it, especially if you use ice. When you drink wine too, you get a lot of out of it, especially. And I fill the cup up all the way. I don't even do like the.
There's no 6 ounce. There's no 9 ounce.
Yeah, I don't do the swirl it around, sniff it or nothing like that. I don't do that. I just
gargle
fill it
too.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
I didn't even know that. See, I didn't even know that was a thing.
That's hilarious.
Man.
Now, do you like your stuff chilled or room temperature?
I'm chilled for sure.
Yeah, I'm a chilled guy too.
I need it to be. For some, it's like same thing if I'm drinking like sweet tea. Like I for some reason when it's chilled or cold, it hits way different.
Yeah.
And it's more refreshing. It makes you feel like you're really tasting all the flavors versus if it's just sitting. And for some reason, it makes me think that everything's just floated to the bottom.
I feel the same way. I love things chilled. It's just like this one's eating our ice up so fast.
Yeah. My ice is gone.
It's almost gone. So, as I established earlier in this, 10 minutes ago, we just met literally a week and a half ago. And you sold me my recent truck that I got, which is a Denali. And actually, I'm loving the truck. It rides like a dream. It's amazing. I wasn't sure when I got rid of the Shelby if I should, but I wanted something that was newer with lower miles on it. Yeah. And that's exactly what I got. But that thing rides like a dream.
And more luxurious, right? That's
yes.
what you want. Yeah.
It's like a Cadillac truck. I couldn't believe it. I drove it. Well, my girl, my wife. Sorry, she's my wife now.
You're gonna get in trouble. You said that earlier too.
She'll be all right. No, she's from Austin, Minnesota, so I drove there last weekend on the interstate, and it just like floated like a Cadillac almost. I was like, "This is beautiful." The only thing is, it's got that topper on it, but most of my friends are like, "It's got a gun rack in it. That's sweet. You need to keep that." I'm like, I'll probably keep it, but
I'll take it off. I'm
gonna probably take it off.
Yeah, it looked good driving up here when I just saw it parked there.
It's a beautiful truck, dude. And so the gun rack comes down, obviously, as you know, from the ceiling, and I have now stored my softball bats in there.
Oh, there you go. There you go. You're getting proper use out of it.
I am
there you
for the
go.
time being. So every time I show them, they're like, "You got a topper?" I'm like, "Well, it came with it, but check this out." And I show the gun rack. I'm like, "But I put softball bats in it." And I'm like, "This is hilarious." So they're like, "That is so cool." I think I've only had one person go, I looks like old man truck, and I have to agree with them. But I'm like, for the time being, I'm gonna make the
until
most
you
use out
take
of it.
that part off.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like with that, like it's easily you can take it off, but having that like you could easily just put your baseball bats in the back of it. You know? But to have that part to keep everything clean and everything like organized like that, I see it. Obviously, when people normally look at that type of structure, you think of just like an older guy who has a lot of like, just
random
handyman work, and you're just going and you need to be covered and all that. But sometimes it comes in handy, especially with that. If you didn't have that on there, I'm pretty sure you'd have been took it off by now.
Yeah, and I'm not the handiest guy. I'll be the first to admit it. You want something fixed, I am probably not your guy. But if you want me to speak in front of 1,000 people, I am your guy. Yeah. So I'm like, well, it's cool for now. It works. It's like custom to the truck. It's literally the same color. But I absolutely love the truck, and I got a great deal at Dahl. I've only purchased one other vehicle in town, and that's actually that red Supra back there. And Andy Kaiser was the guy I had come over and look at. I was trading something in for that at the same time. So I've known Andy for a little while, and that's who I got a hold of. And then when I came in, he's like, hey, here's Thomas. I'm like, perfect. Let's go take a test drive. And that's what we did. And so we literally had like a 15-minute podcast interview just driving the truck around. And I'm like, you should come on. And you're like, sounds good to me. And then we start talking about your YouTube channel, which we'll get into. But I want to go on to your sales in Toyota, because you specifically sell Toyotas.
Yeah, we sell obviously other vehicles, but they're all going to be used. All the new cars and certified cars are going to be Toyotas.
And you were very upfront when I came in and bought this. You're like, I don't know much. We're going to learn this kind of together. I sell Toyotas. That's what I know the most of. And I'm like, perfect. I know that you don't know that, because I sold cars for a very short while in my life too. But you were upfront and honest. Like, I don't know much about this, but we'll learn it together. And I'm like, cool. That's fine with me. So how do you like selling for a Toyota then? Is it like, was it a hard training process to learn things, or not really?
First, I love Toyota, because they sell themselves. It's the same thing with like Lexus. The reputation is very high. People know reliability, and they know most of the time when they come in it's going to be a little bit more pricier than any other brand most of the time. But the training process, Toyota has a lot of cars. A lot of different cars, and like for instance, like the RAV4 has 13 different trim levels, right? Like
really,
like so you got a RAV4 and you can learn the RAV4, but now you got to learn the Adventure model or the TRD, and then realize the difference between those. There's so many different trims to it, and you can modify so many. Same thing with the Tacomas, like it's so much stuff to it. So you can think that you know something, and all of a sudden, you talk with another salesman and he's like, oh, well, did you know this? And it's like, that's what I'm trying to be like a sponge as much as possible. And one thing I've learned from being, a new guy is like, use I don't know as much as possible, but also use I'll get the answer for you if I don't know it, right? So with you, like for that vehicle, like we do training and we watch videos and we go to training and all this type of stuff for Toyotas. So for some other salesman might have worked at a GMC or something like that to where they had training on that, but I'm the last thing I want is for someone to think that I'm BSing them or thinking that I'm like trying to I'm like, I genuinely did not care if you bought that truck or another truck. I just wanted to help you find something that fits you, right? So I had a lot of bad experiences with dealerships before.
For you personally?
Yeah, for me personally. So like when now that I'm working at one, I see the back end of it, and I see two things. One, how I could have done better going into there being a little bit more knowledgeable when I was purchasing a car. And then two, how they could have done better. Like I bought a Cadillac ATS rear-wheel drive down in Austin, Texas, and they knew I was coming back to the Midwest. And to buy a Cadillac that low to the ground, rear-wheel drive, like the way they made it seem like it was a breeze to just put, all-weather tires on, put sand in the back, and it would be great, right? And it didn't matter that, and it had snow mode in it. So I'm like, oh, it has a snow mode. Like, why not, why it should work. Literally the second it got negative degrees up here, the entire motor went out. They had to replace the entire motor, over $10,000 in that car.
Oh, damn.
And it was crazy because the original person who had the car did some tuning to the motor and blocked the original warranty for it. So I had bought an extended warranty that didn't even matter because the original warranty was blocked. So, and they didn't know that. So, which was weird for me. And it's like, I now know how that can slip someone's mind, the salesperson's mind, because they're not in the back end service, right? Sure. And that car had just got brought in the day before. So I'm pretty sure they were like, they just pushed it through. They're pushing it through a lot faster, and they probably didn't know that the person that traded in the car did some tuning to the engine. So they realized that they were in the wrong, and I don't think they had to legally pay for the motor to get fixed, but I think from just an ethical standpoint of it, they paid to get the entire thing fixed. I ended up settling it back down in Texas just because I couldn't drive it in the winter at all.
Sure.
And now that I know how much rear wheel drive cars struggle, and you can't physically move. You can be on a hill like with barely any type of hill to it. I mean degrees to it, and you're not moving. And it's wild because you put it in sports mode, you put it in any type of, and it still doesn't move. You put it in slow mode, and it still doesn't move. So having that experience, and before that, I bought a car, and it was at a one of those places where they help your credit.
Oh, yeah, like a buy here, pay here.
Yeah, and it was like when you make your payments on time, like it's strictly to help you build more credit. Right. Sometimes, obviously, buying a car and making payments helps your credit, but this program or the place, I can't even remember what it was. JD Biter, I can't even remember, but they.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they were strictly made to help you build your credit, and I made all my payments, did everything great, but how much I paid for the car, now that I look back on it, it was absurd. Like my monthly payments was crazy, and it's like I at that moment I had the money to do the down payment and have everything, but I didn't understand. No one teaches you that. Like,
that's right. They never teach you anything like that in school, and like basic, everyday building credit, whatever it might be, interest rates. A lot of people don't even know what that is
at all. And right now I'm dealing with that a lot with my sister, who I just helped moved here. Okay. And she has a situation with her old school that she was going to where they're telling her, hey, you owe this amount. But if you don't start paying us, we're going to send it to debt collection.
Right.
But they're not even charging her interest. Right? And she's just, you got to make the payments. You just tell us how much you want to pay a month and we can work with you, whatever. Sure. But if you don't respond or you don't pay, we're going to send you to debt collection, and they're going to charge interest. So she doesn't understand how much difference that is. You can go from paying $10,000 to $15,000 really quick over time. So trying to educate her on that aspect has been very nice because I've been through it, but it sucks that I've been through it, But just dealing with those different types of car situations is why I wanted to get into the car business. I originally went there for the Cadillac, and I was talking with Andy to try to trade it in to see what I can get for it.
Okay. Oh, that's how you got the job?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
That's the crazy part, right?
Yeah.
I go there. So my boss at when I was at St. Mary's was Nikki Peterson, and she bought her car from Andy, same way how you kind of did it, right? Andy's the go-to guy.
He is. I just know him from the river, and I've dealt with him multiple times. So,
yeah, and she's like, just go talk to Andy. He'd probably be able to help you out. So I talked with him, talked with Mike, and they basically let me know kind of where I was sitting at. And when I say I was, not only did I have the engine problem, I was upside down probably $9,000. That car depreciated like 10, and that was within a year.
Yep.
Within 1 year, I went from, I bought it at, I think, 31, and it went, by the time they told me, they was like, yeah, we'll give you 21 for it, or 20. And I was like, what? And I still owed like 28, 29. I'm like, it was only a year of making payments. It wasn't anything, like, I didn't do a dent to it. So I was like pretty upset with that. But it's the fact that I know that they knew. They had, like, I know what it's like now when I sell like something to somebody, and I don't want to put people in that situation to where, one, they get super excited about a car, but they don't understand the second into it. Like, you get the car, everything's great and it looks great, but now you're making more payments on something that, like, do you really need the car? Or do you want the car?
Sure.
Right? But if they're coming in, I also learned that if they're going to buy the car, they're going to buy the car, no matter what advice I give to them. And I don't want to talk myself out of a deal, but at the same time, I don't want them to feel how I felt, because I felt good when I first got the car. Yeah. I felt amazing. I'm riding an all-black Cadillac, black rims. It was fast. It was nice. Everybody's like, oh, my God, you got a Caddy and all. It was all nice. Yes. But and I didn't struggle to make the payments and anything like that. It was once stuff hit the fan and I wasn't able to drive it in the winter, was it really worth paying over $550 a month for that? And it's like, and that's just the car payment. That's not including the insurance. And it's like, was it worth that at that time? Probably not. When I could have got something like a 4Runner or something to where I can have, all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, and something like that, and be able to drive it all year round and still have that luxury of reliability. It was crazy.
Yeah, that's one of those things up in the. Well, where are you from originally?
Chicago.
Okay, well then, so you understand.
Oh, I know
winter
the
a little
winter.
bit. Yeah,
I know the winter.
but yeah, rear wheel drive up here, not a great thing. But a 4Runner would have been amazing. But now it's great that you're into this, that you can educate people at the same time. Because when I came in, you didn't try to sell me anything else. You just said, "Oh, here's this. This is what we can do." And then I saw the Toyota Tundra that was still there.
It was a nice one. It was a nice one.
It's
sold now, but it was
Oh, it
nice.
did sell?
Yes, it did sell.
Wow, because you guys were giving me a fantastic deal, but I was in the same thing. I'm like, I don't think I want payments. I think I just want to give you guys cash and go my way.
Yep, and sometimes, because I don't think people, back in the day, it seems like people, I didn't know this, but it seems like when you come with cash, dealerships used to get happy, I guess. But
Yeah.
nowadays, it's not. It's kind of the other way to where they would rather you finance, to be honest. So it's like,
Because they sell you on more stuff, I think.
and then at the end of the day, people need to understand it's still a business. Like it's not like it's anything personal, or anything like that. So and sometimes it honestly does work sometimes more in their favor because you get certain incentives where they, Toyota do a thing to where if you do finance, you get $1,000 off the car or something like that to where it works in your favor. Or you can refinance you finance with Toyota and then refinance with your own bank, whatever, right? So it works sometimes, but I never want to pressure someone into doing it. If their original thing is to do cash, I can show them the other option. But if they say no, I'm not going to sit here and try to double, down on like, no, you need to do this. You already probably did. I mean, especially if you've done. Most of the time, people do their research nowadays. It's so much out there, and they know what they want. Like you knew exactly what you wanted. You knew exactly how much your truck was worth, even though it's a truck that's. I mean, that Shelby is unique. So it's like you can't put that VIN number in most of the time and get exactly what So
no, I know.
It's a whole different situation. So like trying to make sure that person that comes in is one, did their research, and then two, they know what they want. If they know what they want, they did their research. You can't really sell them on anything else most of the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can educate them like, oh, did you know this? And I would rather when they go to the back, like, yes, Thomas talked to me about that. I decided no, and this is why. And he did a very good job. The biggest thing is when people leave, I want them to be like, that guy I like that guy. Like, I didn't feel pressure. I didn't feel like he was like trying to sell me on anything extra. He talked to me about everything that he was supposed to, but also there was no pressure behind it, and it was a very smooth situation.
Well, that's exactly how I felt. Actually, you and me built kind of a little bit of a relationship on the test drive, where I was like, you're not pressuring me to do anything. I literally came to you about the truck that I saw come on your website. Is actually what happened. And then I started doing my research the week prior before coming up to it. And then when I came in, I knew what it was all about. And then I almost bought the Tundra. I was very close, but saw the payments. I was like, don't want that. But I didn't feel pressure. You kind of went through the steps. Like, hey, if you want to buy some extras, here they are. And I was like, nope, I'm good. Let's just get it done. And then financing, and we were taken care of, and it was a smooth transaction. Yeah. Pretty much, I think I spent maybe 2 hours total test drive, out the door with the truck, leaving.
Yep.
And then...
And so I didn't realize how long it takes to do this stuff. Like when it really comes to buying a car, it's a long process. I know. Like even today was my day off, and I went in and helped, and I didn't, because sometimes you can be off and your people can come in and somebody else can help sell your car, deliver it for you. So I wanted to come in and did my own, and they came in at 11 and didn't leave until like 4 or 5.
Oh, just before.
A lot of it was, but the thing is, what's crazy is that a lot of it was them. They were asking a lot of extra questions, which is fine. And then they started the negotiation process, which is I'm starting to understand that it's a big deal. And I think the notion of like car dealerships is that we make so much money off all the cars. Right. And it's not like that. Like now that I know the second end, like obviously we make money off cars, right? Because that's what the whole business is. Right. But the amount of money I think that people think that we make is absurd. Like they got to realize, like if you sell for that Tundra, right? That Tundra was on our lot for a long time. Like
Since at least December.
It was a 2023.
Yep.
And it's 2024 right now, and now they're starting. And we got a 2025 Camry on our lot right now, right? So it was on our lot for a long time. We had a good shipment of about 4 or 5 of them, and that was the last one that did not sell, right? So it's like, with that situation, it's like, how much do you think that we can take off? Like, we went down on it, but then you also have to understand that Toyota is asking us to sell it at a certain price, right? Yeah. And but then they also know that when the car sits on the lot, depreciation and all that type of stuff, and what we can, do to get the car off the lot because we lose money on it, we can do our part to it. And I'm not super educated on this, like, right? I'm just going off of what I know so far. Right. And for that situation, for that car, it was like I could have easily been like overly bearing trying to get you to own that car, because it also in the dealership you sometimes have certain like incentives. Hey, if this car's been on the lot for this long, whoever sells it get an extra this, right? Sometimes I pay attention to those things because, one, that's extra money, but then two, when someone comes in and they don't know what they want, sometimes like that can be a car that's more like, oh my God, I didn't know, right? But I also know that car has also been sitting there for a while for a reason also sometimes. And sometimes we have to understand as a business that pricing could have been the issue. Or something in it, because it's a certain situation where we have a non-Toyota car in our lot that sits for a long time. For me, that's frustrating because it's not Toyota and it's sitting there for a long time. And it's like I ask Andy this, for other brands, like for Kia, when Kia had that situation with the key situation or still in the cars when people were doing that. How do you sell a car after that? When someone comes in and that was a national thing to where everyone was talking about it, right? How do you as a salesman, I'm hoping that they had to go through some training to counteract when people had the negative, mindset on the Kias.
Right.
So I don't know if you were there around that time.
I don't believe so. It was kind of coming out of that, these are cheap ass cars. and this is like this is 2012, 13.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So this is a little different time. The thing I was able to sell people on was the 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
Yes.
And not to say that was what my selling point was, but I was actually pretty good at selling the hybrids. And the reason I was good at selling the hybrids is because my dad had one. So he told me all about the hybrids and how they function. And I'm like, cool, I can sell that. And we used to sell everything below invoice. So all we were trying to do is push cars. So the more you sold, obviously you got bonuses if you sold 10, 15, 20, 30, whatever it was. And then if you sold a certain trim level, you got more money at the same time.
See, that's different too.
But see, we were selling everything below invoice. They go, if you can sell it above invoice and that, you're going to get that plus this. And I'm like, yeah, good luck. Kia is pretty tough to sell.
So, but when it comes to selling it, were you guys selling below because of how were people not buying it, or like what was the?
I think we were just high volume dealers, what they called us.
So, and it's just a different type of selling.
Yeah, we were selling like 100 plus cars a month.
That's insane.
And it was down in
a month is insane. Yes. Like now, having a couple months where you go over like 100, that's pretty good. But to do that now,
So the whole thing they told us in training was, when someone comes in just randomly on the lot and they want to look at the car, if they leave the lot, there's only about a 10% chance they're coming back.
Yes.
And so that was the whole thing. Like, hey, if you can get them in here, get them sitting down, we'll figure out how to make it work for the most part. And I would sell them on the hybrid model because it was the SX was the top. You get $400 for selling the SX if it was below invoice. Then next was the hybrid, which was $300. Then there was, I think, the EX, and then the LX was like $100, $200.
Yeah.
And so I would try to sell people on the hybrid, and they're like, "Well, what if the battery goes?" I go, "Well, you got that 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. It does cover that." And I sold probably 3 of those in my very short stint of doing that. But it was not my gig because of the fact that I was in Georgia and I didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
And I was telling you this too. I'm like, someone walks in off the lot, I'm like, I don't know you, and hopefully you're not here with an appointment from someone.
Yeah.
But if you're not, hopefully I can sell you a car right now.
So when you were there, you were full time?
I was full time.
Okay.
A lot more than what's up here.
But you said that it was how many sales reps were on the floor?
I want to say there was at least 10 to 15.
Which is,
I would say about 10 on average is what was there.
3, 4, 5, 6. And right now I think we have 6 to 7.
Okay.
So to have that many is a lot. But how many cars did you guys probably have on your lot though?
Oh
at
gosh,
one time?
probably at least 60 of. I see at least 60 cars, used and new.
Okay.
We had a lot. I mean, 2012 is a different story. We didn't have any shortages back then.
Yeah.
So I would say there's probably at least 60. And like, you wanted a Kia Optima. I mean, I had every model there,
That
plus
you
a
can-
few colors as well.
And you had, so when it comes to, and then you guys sold other like trade-ins and all that
Well,
stuff
yeah,
too,
we
right?
also had this. And actually, the fun thing is I tried to sell used cars more because I could do both.
Okay.
I would try to sell used more because I knew there was more markup on it, so I could make
Yeah.
a better profit. I think one of my biggest ones was like $600, and I was like, oh, that's cool. It was tough though because I didn't know anybody. It was just
Yeah.
like I was just trying to get traffic off the street.
Which is, and I'm imagining in 2012 it was like social, like that's what I'm using a lot now is
Yeah.
the social media stuff like we were talking about earlier. So
Yes.
like I'm known in Winona, but I'm also not known in Winona too by it's just a certain population.
Right.
So when I moved here, I came here to coach at Winona State.
Yep.
Right. So I know the football players, I know the coaches, I know some of the families and stuff like
That's
that.
good to
And
know.
everything Winona State wise. And then I moved my way to St. Mary's to where now I know some of the faculty, students and stuff there.
Yep.
Other than that, I really didn't know. So when I got to Dahl, like Andy's like he's an amazing person.
Yeah.
Like for him to bring me in knowing that he knew that my personality is I like my personality. I'm a talkative person.
You're
right?
fun. You're fun to be with.
Yeah, I'm a talkative person and I'm fun to be with. And it's like I can talk to anybody. That's not the problem. The problem is learning the product. Right,
That's
learning
tough,
the
yes.
product and knowing how many different cars it is, but how easy these guys have made it for me. Because I started part time for basically a whole year. I just started my first full time day was the 11th of this month. So I did a whole basically year of part time where I'm doing from 25 to 30 hours
Yep.
a week. And I got to the point to where I was getting to a good rhythm where I was getting 11 cars almost a month type thing. So
That's good. That's
I
good to start
felt
with.
like if I can do that part time, like I'm in the right spot.
Yeah.
Like there's no limit to what I can do, and I'm honestly blown away with how many people want cars in Winona.
Yeah.
Winona is in what 26,000 people type situation, and like
Yeah, it's
you
not that many.
you have so many situations where it's a birthday, a trade in, a lease, and people are just they want to buy a car. They want the first people buying a car for the first time.
Yeah.
And you got situations where people are coming from out of the the city, from the cities or La Crosse to come buy cars, and I just didn't understand. I'm like, if you really want to make money in sales or like you want to go to a bigger city, that's what I'm thinking. Right, and I know obviously there's levels to it, right?
Sure.
But the difference of working at St. Mary's and doing my hall director stuff there, I was making more part time doing the car sales than I was full time at St. Mary's doing the hall director stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you count in that they were also letting me live for free within the contract, but I was staying on campus, so it's like it's a pros and cons to it. And to be able to make basically more on average, like being part-time is like, I know I'm so excited for full-time now. Like, now that I'm there all the time, I have the hours that I can just use social media, make those funny videos, do those funny things and stuff like that. Yeah. And being able to work with a group of guys and girls to where like, it's so fun being there. It's so like, you would think that egos or other things would be in the way when it comes to sales and people trying to like every month there's a new month where you're trying to meet a number. Like how like the amount of times I'm like, good job, Thomas. Like, and it's little, but that makes me feel so good. It's that little reassurance. It's like words of affirmation at work is amazing for me. So Dahl has been an amazing spot, and being able to honestly know that the Dahl family knows my name. Those the brothers, they know me.
That's awesome.
And
Andy's
it's a lot of
one of them, right?
Yeah, and to know
met him
that
once.
it's a little bit of the social media stuff.
Yep.
My YouTube channel and stuff like that, I was able to talk with them about that. And I think what was it? Tyler Dahl saw me and he was, hey, TLoose. He called me TLoose. That's my YouTube
TLoose
name.
Reactions.
To say that, I'm like, oh my God. I told you about that like 3 months ago. We were at the 80s party or something like that, and you remember that? Like that shows that either one, he has a really good memory, or he actually invested a little bit into the channel to look and see and learn a little bit more about me. So it was pretty nice, and I feel pretty lucky, honestly.
That's great because when I came in and saw you, and anytime I talked to Andy, I never felt Andy Kaiser, that is.
Yeah.
I never felt pressured to buy anything. I just went to them because I felt comfortable. I always went to Andy because I had his personal number, first of all. And then I would just always say, hey, I see you got this on the lot. You know what I got. We talk on the river because I see him on the river all the time.
Yeah.
And so then when I came in, he knew what I had already because I had already been in there, like looking at some of those Tundras. and they had a white one with red interior. I probably would have been sold on that. But they never had one. They had this ass ugly red color. I did not like that one. Some people love it. It's called like Terra Red or something or whatever it was. Didn't like that one, but I liked the way it drove better than I liked the Capstone. But the Capstone looked really luxurious.
Yes, which is what you were going for. That was the biggest thing.
That was kind of, yes. Yeah. And so, I got mine. But now, I want to go back and share a story with you. Yeah. When I was selling cars, our people did not care if we harassed people.
Really?
In fact, they encouraged it. They said,
"Oh my God!" So here, they encouraged it.
This is what they said. They said, if we get a call and someone complains about you calling them too much, we will actually shake your hand and say, "Good job."
Yeah.
Because they like, hey, at least you're promoting us. Now, one time, I made up. This one guy came in. I was sitting on the lot, bored out of my mind. He's getting an oil change on his Kia Forte. Mm-hmm. And he's looking at the Optimas, and I go, yeah, how's it going? I'm just sitting here. There's literally nothing to do. Mm-hmm. And it was the beginning of November in Georgia, so it's not cold. So we're just out wandering around talking. He's like, yeah, I've always wanted an Optima, this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, oh, sounds good. So I put that in the back of my mind.
Yep.
Just the week of Thanksgiving, I think it was like Tuesday, I called the guy out of the blue because I was bored out of my mind. Yep. Called him, didn't answer, left him a voicemail. Said, hey, it's Chris. Just letting you know we have a pre-Black Friday sale. We're selling everything below invoice, and just want to let you know.
Yep.
We sold everything below invoice.
Yeah, anyways.
Just letting you know that. He calls me back. He goes, you guys are really selling everything below invoice? I go, yeah, pre-Black Friday sale. Cool. He goes, I'm going to be in tonight after work. Sounds good. I'll be here.
Yeah.
There was no pre-Black Friday sale. I said that. We sold everything below invoice. And he came in, was happy as could be, bought a car at a good price. I made it my own sale day, and that was how I sold a car. But they didn't care if I did that. And I had another story one time. I called. They said, hey, here's a girl. She's looking for Sorrento. Yeah. And I said, cool. Sounds good. Called her a couple times, left her voicemails a couple times. Called her one more time. Her boyfriend answers. Oh. Cusses me out. Says, stop harassing my girlfriend, this, that, and the other thing. Next day, she's in buying a car from someone else, and I got half the sale. This guy goes, I go, who is that over there? What's her name? They told me their name. I go, I just literally got cussed out by her boyfriend that's sitting with her right now the night before.
For them to go to
they came to the same one. They didn't go to any other Kia.
What?
I know.
Wow. Yeah, for them to go to that same, but no, at least you got half. Because sometimes, like, you get to the point to where, like, you talk with them on the phone, but if you didn't talk with them in person or you didn't get them on a car, sometimes that's an issue.
Do you guys have that too? Like, if someone was working, let's say you're working with someone, and it's your off day, they come in and buy a car from someone else. You guys
it's mine still.
It's still yours?
Yes.
You don't split it?
I can do a thing to where I let them know thank you, and I give them $100, $200, whatever towards it.
Sure.
We don't normally know how much each car is. So when we'll get that at the end of the pay period to where they let us know like what each car was. I like that because I can't sell you on something. Sure. Like now those situations earlier where I was telling you, they give us like throughout the month, they'll be like, hey, this car's been sitting on the lot for a while. Yep. This is what the extra bonus for in this. That's different. But when it comes to the overall cars, we don't know as sales like normally. And now the best is if we get a trade-in, and we sell it within the first 5 to 10 days. We know that that's a good high volume, whatever. But most of the time on new or used, you don't really know kind of sometimes how much you're going to make on it because you don't know as a salesman sometimes how long the car's been sitting there. Whether that's 20 days or 15 because it changes after a while, how much we sell it for, what we discount. And then sometimes it depends on the trade-in and all that type of stuff. So it's just a lot that kind of goes into it. And I love that I don't know. Because I can't be biased towards anything.
Sure, because you're not like, oh, I want to sell that one because I'm gonna get more off it.
I have no idea.
That's cool.
Like but it does happen sometimes. Like I said, when they let you know, hey, this car's been sitting here for a while, like with that Tundra. But also, I know I don't want you to feel like what I said earlier, to where you feel like you got sold. I want you to feel, or the person to feel like they purchased a car. If you feel like after a while, 2 months, you're like, I wish I'd like that defeats the purpose. I don't want you to feel bad about buying a car, like, should I have done this after 3 payments? And you're like,
Sure.
I don't, because then you're never going to be like, go talk to Thomas. You know, you're never going to do that. Like, so I want people to feel that way. And that's what I say. I've been striving for that every single time when I talk with people, and I want people to feel comfortable. I want people to remember the situation or the buying situation. And then when those new people come in that don't know, I show them how the process goes. When it comes to a new car, old car, this is what it would look like if you were financed. This is what if you were to do cash. This is why you would lease. This is why you wouldn't in certain situations and everything, because, like I said, people don't know. So I love that I'm in this position to where I can affect a lot of people in a positive way. Honestly.
That's awesome. So now you have a YouTube channel.
Yep.
Which is called, is it TLoose?
TLoose, yeah. TLoose Reacts.
TLoose Reacts. And I didn't know any of this until I came into the test drive. Now, explain to me what it is and how you came up with the concept.
So, one, I had a podcast at first with my college friends, and it was called Inside the Chat. And with that, it was basically like, you know, type of situation like this where we talk for an hour, but none of us were in person. So we were using StreamYard, and we're all trying to make sure that it sounded good, the quality was good and stuff like that. We would have special guests. We would talk about a lot of stuff that you were talking inside of a guy's group chat, you know, type thing most of the time, right? So it was I felt it was a great name, great situation. But it was so much time. You do so I praise you for this. You're doing, like, we talk for an hour. You edit it. You do the thumbnails, or you hire somebody to do the thumbnails, and you post it, and you had to make sure all that stuff with YouTube, and it's a long process. And I grew to learn that, you know, I like watching people react to stuff. I think it started to be a big thing when Fortnite came out. People love to watch people do stuff that they can't do in video games or in movies and music. It's weird because people say, like, older people will be like, I can't believe you'll sit there and watch someone play a video game.
I think the same thing.
Right?
My students do that all the time.
But it's crazy because it's big. The way you look at it is the same way when people say how you can watch an NBA game, how you can watch an NFL game, because they are doing stuff that you can't do. I can sit there and play the exact same game, but they can play it at a overall times 10 sensitivity, do a 360 and shoot somebody, you know, across the map. I can't do that. So watching people do that stuff has become more entertaining. So you get to the point where you got Fortnite, you got music and all this type of stuff where people make reaction videos to other people doing stuff. So I found myself watching those, and I'm like, I think I can do this, right? And then when I was doing the podcast, I was like, why not try it? So I realized I did. So I started I did the podcast probably for half a year, going into December of 2022, I would say, and that February, I started doing reactions, and I was doing all the mainstream stuff. And when you do reactions, you got to realize, like, YouTube has their copyright, you know, algorithm that notices when you have somebody else's stuff. You file, if you get caught with copyright, you file a claim, you let YouTube know, hey, I am a reaction channel, and you have a whole list of reasons why it's not listed as copyright, because you're changing the overall content that you're reacting to. If you sit there and watch the entire video through and then try to talk about it afterwards, doesn't work like that, because you won't ever get monetized. So with YouTube, there's a monetized situation where you have 1,000 subscribers, 10,000 watch hours, no copyright strikes, and make sure that you have your safety features hooked up or something like that.
And that's how you start getting paid?
That's how you start getting paid.
Okay.
So I started in February, I think, of 2022, doing reactions, and I think by a month and a half in, I was already at 1,000 subscribers. This was because I already knew what videos would blow up, right? And for young reactors or people who are starting to do it, if you think that you can just get on and you can react with Drake and you can react to Lil Wayne and these top artists and get views, you're not going to get views. You have to pick certain genres or certain artists that have a huge fan base that are most of the time non-mainstream, because those people are the ones that watch your videos. Or my favorite artist is Montana 300, a Chicago rapper that moved to Peoria, but I love watching people react to him and see if they have the same reaction I have. Right? Or they catch certain things that I don't. Right?
What's his name?
His name's Montana 300.
Montana 300.
300.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's performed here at Black Horse and everything. It's kind of crazy. I've been able to meet him a couple
that does
times.
sound familiar.
Yeah.
Was he here when Aaron Carter was here?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, because that concert happened not too long ago, but then Aaron Carter passed away.
Mm-hmm.
I think I remember seeing that name at the
Yeah,
Black
they
Horse.
started to post them around and everything.
Okay.
But with that, it's like I then see that, reactions are starting to get it. So I started reacting to this guy named Harry Mack. He's a freestyle artist where he'll take you, he say, hey, give me 3 words. You give him 3 words.
Yep.
I'm talking about completely 3 podcast, beer, and like a light ring. And he'll go off on that, right? His fan base, I went from probably 2,000 subscribers. So I started in February. By June, I started with 2,000. By the end of June, I had like 6,000 subscribers. Like I blew up so much because he has over 1 million subscribers alone. And his fans love when people react to him and have the reaction that they have. So if you have a funny video and or something like that, and other people watch it and they laugh at it, to watch somebody else have the same reaction that you had to it is entertaining for some weird reason. It's funny.
Okay.
Or just overall, you're like, hell yeah, that person likes exactly what I like, whatever. So I started to do a lot of Harry Mack, and it started to blow up. And within that first 3 months, that June, I made $1,000 off YouTube.
Wow,
Just in that month. And then the next month, I went to like 800 because I did a lot of traveling, cruise, my birthday, and all that type of stuff, weddings over the summer. And then the school year started back to where I got a little bit more busy. So it started to get down to like 6, 5, whatever. And then I lost my voice. It was weird. It was like laryngitis, whatever the hell it was. But I lost my voice for like 3 months. It was terrible.
Dang.
I'm a talker, as you can tell.
Yeah,
and I couldn't talk, and I wasn't putting out a lot of content. So it's been down ever since then to around $300 to $400 a month every time. Okay. But I don't even put as much effort as these other people put in it. If I was putting out videos every single day and doing stuff every day, it would be, I would easily be over 100,000 subscribers right now. Right now, I'm sitting at 34,000, right?
Yeah, I think that's what I saw last week when you told me about it.
So I think I'm at 34,000. And when you really look at it, for me, it's like weird because I look at so many other reactors, and I'm like, that's not a lot. But when I went to a Dan and Shay concert, and they said it was like
Dan and Shay concert.
Yeah, they said it was like I forgot what arena they were in, but they XSL arena. But I forgot how many people were in there. But I had more subscribers than the amount of people that was in there. And to physically look at how many people were in there, I was like, that's insane. To sit there and have that realization, I was like, that's crazy. Or like Chicago Bulls, they had the #1 attendance. And the most that they have is 29,000 people in their arena. And I'm like, I have more people that have subscribed to my channel than that's in that arena. So that's cool. That feels good. And with the reactions, it's like we naturally do it anyways.
Right.
We sit here and we react to songs, or your buddy say, hey, listen to this song. You do it anyways. Why not take that, do this type of situation where you are reacting to a song and it takes 10 minutes? Well, like, this is going to be over an hour, right? And we're sitting, and you're going to have to edit it and stuff like that. And you react to a song, and the song's probably 4 minutes. And then obviously you put your intro, outro to it. You edit it a little bit in the middle just in case you mess up or anything like that. But it probably takes editing it 15 minutes. And because you get down to a rhythm, and then the posting sometimes, depending on where you are, YouTube takes a little bit to upload, whatever.
It takes longer to upload than it does
and it's
to
like
edit.
in certain situations, but with an hour-long thing, it takes a little bit longer, right? But for my 15, 10-minute videos, it doesn't take long to upload. It probably takes around 5 minutes. Yeah. And then then it goes to the copyright process and all that type of stuff. So like I can sit at night, I'll have a moment, like probably tonight or tomorrow night, I'll have where I react to probably like 10 videos.
Really?
And I'll have 10 videos in the cut ready to be edited. That's the hard part, is when I do the content, is the editing part. Because I feel like, I got 10 done and I good. But then I got to edit it.
So you have a bunch of videos ready to go?
Yes. But what sucks is that sometimes I get super busy. So when I've done the reaction, if that song's super hype at that moment and I don't get it out right then and there, sometimes by the time I do get it out, it's not getting as many views as it should. Okay. And it was a big thing with Kendrick Lamar and Drake that just came out where they were going this to this to this. And I reacted to one and I put it out the next day. But by that next day, Kendrick Lamar dropped 2 more discs. And everybody's like, you're late. And I'm like, dude, this is my part-time situation. Like, what do you expect me to do? So
you're late.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Figure
that's
it
crazy.
out.
You tell me I'm late, that I'm a day late. And but the thing is, what I love about it, it's so easy. It's fun. I think more people should do it because it's what everyone normally does anyways.
Well, and you're right about that because we do normally, but here's what I think the biggest problem is people are probably a little afraid to put themselves out there.
True.
Not everyone wants to be the center of attention. However, I feel like you and me, we don't care. We don't give a shit.
We don't
care. We're like, hey, we want to be that, and that's exactly. So, okay, now I want to brainstorm with you because this is something we've never talked about. What could I do better than for this? I mean, you got 35,000 subscribers. I have like 240.
Yeah.
So we're 9-day difference.
I think what's really important when it comes to especially longer content is to have snippets for TikTok, for Instagram, and Facebook that are like 30 seconds. Sure. Whether that's a funny moment, whether we had a funny moment where you catch us laughing and you take that 30 seconds and you post that. Right? Yeah. All it's going to take is somebody to be like, oh, my God, that was funny. I wonder how the rest of that podcast went. Yes. And then they click on your podcast and watch it. Right. If they stay on the whole entire time, it doesn't really matter. The point is that little snippet brought somebody else that probably wouldn't have liked it or known about it because, one, your thumbnails are really good. So, like, that's already attractive. Yep. Now, if you can get to the point to where you are, because I suck at this too, is putting out those little fun, like out of my 10 minutes, I can take 30 seconds of me like, oh my God, that was fire, and a hype part of the song, and put that on TikTok, and all of a sudden that's like 30,000, 100,000 views on TikTok, and it takes 3 people to. All I need is 3, and just give me 3 every time. Somebody to like it and go check out my channel, subscribe, and that's what I would say. Because especially with longer content, because it's hard to promote longer, because it's like when you post it and it says like an hour, it's like, oh, I ain't got an hour. You know,
right?
Do I really have an hour to do it? And you will sit there and you watch that 30 minutes, like, that was freaking hilarious. That 30 seconds of a snippet is like, I wonder what else they talked about. Yep. Let me. This guy seems interested in it, or you seem funny or something like that. And they go and like, all right, let's check it out. And they'll do a moment where they're probably sitting back, drinking some wine or drinking a beer and watching it. People do it all the time. It's really weird to think about. But people do it. If people sit there and watch podcasts, or get it to the point to where they'll put it on there while they're driving. Yep. They might not watch it, but they'll listen to it.
And that's where I'm at. I have it on YouTube because I was on a forum. They said, if you're gonna put it on audio, why not put it on YouTube? Yep. You might as well hit all venues or all whatever you want to call it.
And this is on Spotify too.
It's on Spotify. It's on iHeart. It's on Apple Podcasts. It's on every. Amazon podcast.
Yep. Good.
So all the major ones. And so I've said this on other episodes, but when I go on to rss.com, that's what basically it's a one-stop shop, and they shoot out to everywhere. Yeah. And so Spotify is the biggest app that people listen to it on. Mm-hmm. So that's the one I always kind of promote the most, and that's Apple, and then it's everything kind of below that. Yeah. iHeart's a very small snippet of it, but I am on there finally now. Yeah. And Amazon is very small too, but it's always Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube. I can obviously monitor that a little bit. Yeah. I mean, 100, 200 views is fine, but I'm always just trying to figure out ways to make it. And my wife said exactly the same thing you just said. Put out snippets on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Reels, all those. Yeah. She goes, put that out there because she goes, I see that, and then I want to go listen to a podcast. Exactly. And she's a big fan of, obviously, the Kelseys.
Yeah, and stuff like that. You don't want to, because when I first started, people were like, oh, it's so long. And it's like, and that's their overall thought that they don't want to listen to it. So then me and my boys were like, all right, let's make it 30 minutes. You know, and then we would sit up and write a script. And this is what I'm talking about, how much time you put into it. Yeah. I sit there and write a script and be like, okay, we're going to talk about this at this time, and we're going to transition to this. And we do it, and that's all good and fine and everything. But if people don't overall care or know about it in general, and all we do is post a thumbnail and say, watch it, they're not, unless they overall love us in general, they're not going to click on it. Now, famous people like Travis Kelce and them can do that stuff because they're already famous, and people want to know, like LeBron and JJ Redick just came out their podcast. They can talk about whatever. They can have it as long as whatever.
LeBron and JJ Redick?
And JJ Redick have a podcast.
I did not know that.
And literally, they can have an hour-long podcast, but who cares what they're talking about? It's LeBron James giving insight on something, right?
That's true.
So when it comes to them, they probably don't have to have as much structure or those small snippets, or they can pay somebody to do it, right?
Yes.
That's the sucky part of being already having that, that money, like Shannon Sharp and those guys that do all their podcast stuff, they just pay people to take the snippets and create those shorts for them because it just builds more revenue. And you may not see even what's the guy Joe Rogan? Yep. Like he has his stuff. But you will see a 1 minute snippet of the podcast, and out of the hour-long podcast, that 1 minute might be the most interesting part, but you don't know until you click on the entire episode. Right. So that's what I would say is to make sure you take those little small snippets, and I got to do better at it too, because like it's so many videos. I have videos with over 200,000 views on it. I know that. And it'll YouTube will show you the most rewinded spot on your video, right?
The analytics portion?
Yeah. Yep. And it will show you the most playback moment. And if you take that most playback moment and it's either whether the part of the video was funny or you were making a funny reaction, you take that snippet and post it on TikTok. I don't like TikTok as much when it comes to the views, because I feel like they really pick and choose, and it's really based on the sound that you use.
Sure. That's why I started putting sounds on the backgrounds of my stuff, because I'm like, I feel like things that pop up are because of the sound.
Trending, yeah.
So it's like the Morgan Wallen. So I want to do one of those Morgan Wallens where I walk in the door over here and I walk around the cars and then I sit down. That's my idea of doing a TikTok, but it's because of that song. Another one is that $1 Million Baby song that's now popular.
I was just thinking about it, and now they made a dance to it. Yes. They made a dance to it. So now people are doing dances to it, and it's like annoying. I saw a guy. I know he's in New York. I don't know his name or nothing like that. All he does is dance videos on TikTok.
This Jersey Joe?
No, it's not Jersey Joe.
Oh, okay.
But he does literally just all the dances, the top popular dances, right? And he might have done the little $1 Million Baby like dance his last, like out of 20 videos, 18 of them. And all of them have over like 80,000 views on it. And and because he's already known and famous on TikTok. But to have a situation where that trend and that song, no matter, and he's doing the same dance. It's not like he's evolving and doing something else. He's doing the same dance.
I know. It's just in a different area.
Or doing it with somebody, right? It's like wild that it's like I'm sitting there like you're not. I mean, you're not. It's weird because you're not doing anything different and you're still getting views on it. And I know TikTok. I don't know how exactly how TikTok works when it comes to views, but I know YouTube based on 1,000 views. You make a certain amount off of it, whatever.
Okay.
I don't know. They pay you off 1,000 views. So when I look at other people and they make these videos on YouTube, I'm like, I sit here and be like, I'm not really making anything. And I imagine what these like the people that do reactions and get 1 million views make in 3 days.
Sure.
I'm like it was the guy named No Shack Life, does reaction videos by himself. And normally times, like if you look at my top 10 videos, 1 is by myself. The rest of them are with a co-host or somebody else, whether that's my girlfriend, my dad, or my friends, right?
Sure.
And he does them all by himself. And when the J. Cole and all that stuff was going on, he would come out the video like that, and he was getting over 1 million views in one day every single time.
Wow.
And if I'm making, in that June moment, if I made over $1 million and my overall, he made $1 million in one day on views, that during June, I think I had 100 or 220,000 like views.
Okay.
He had 100 million. A million views in one day.
Damn.
And he had 7 videos because Kendrick and them were going back and forth.
Yep.
Every single time he did a reaction, it was over 1 million views in one day. He easily made over 500,000 in this month.
Damn.
And that's in this month, and it's still going.
Like, so that's what we gotta get to.
But that's the crazy. No, seriously. And it's like I'm like. It's weird because so many people will be like, oh my God, you're doing so well. And I'm like, you don't even know. Like, you don't even know how much money these people are making, like to where.
Yeah.
And it's so easy. When he probably makes the videos, he sets it up, does his thing, and he's just him. Imagine being you and you just are naturally entertaining and all of a sudden it takes somebody else's content to make you like make a lot of money off of it. And then Kendrick Lamar and them came out with a copyright thing saying that they dropped the copyright on the song. So now, like sometimes when you do reactions, you share the revenue with the record label or whatever that is. They made it to where my voice. They made it to where every YouTube or content creator can make 100% off their earnings.
Damn.
Whatever, based on how many views they get on their video.
Sure.
And most people don't do that, to be honest, because obviously they want to make money too. But to see, I sit back and look at the No Shack Live guy. I'm like, that's so much money. I can only imagine how much money he's making on that. People do that with music. People do it with Madden, 2K, and all these basketball games and stuff like
Sketch.
that. Yeah. Oh my God.
Hello, brother.
Yeah. And it's like you watch him play Madden. He sucks. He sucks at Madden. He's not good at Madden. He's not good at Madden. But his personality,
suck.
His personality.
I know, it's funny.
Kills it.
It's hilarious.
And it's like you got so many people that, and he's so positive, and it's so like even when he's losing, he's still going, you know, Tuesday, and done his thing. Calm down. We got it. And he's down 21 points. And I'm like, and it's weird because I'll be scrolling through TikTok and see it. And I'm like, let me see, is he really good? He's just super entertaining.
Right.
It's crazy because you always look at certain things and like, I have to be good at this and really good at this for people to like it. And it's not really
You don't have to be.
You have to be likable.
You can be you can suck at something and people think it's hilarious.
Yeah, and sometimes you can use that in your favor and not actually get good at something and just be really bad at it. It's funny because who was it? Because we're gonna get into it, but you do the wrestling thing, right?
I do wrestling.
And
yes.
when we just was talking about, I was thinking of Roberto Del Rio, whatever. And I think he's the one that does the little this thing and does the
Santino Marella.
Yeah, Santino Romero.
Oh
right?
my God.
And he's known as
shitty wrestler,
right?
bad wrestler.
And
he's a gimmick wrestler.
Exactly, right? But they're using that for him to get more publicity. It's weird that I just thought of that. And when we were talking about overall not looked at as being talented and using that for the thing.
Yes.
How did you get into the wrestling thing?
Oh my gosh. I just grew up watching it, loving it, and I just love the atmosphere of what I see on TV is a little different than the atmosphere
that you
of
get,
what you get in the behind the scenes. But it was always like you get to play a character.
Yes.
And I'm big into playing characters or
what's
acting.
your name again? What's the name?
I am right now. I'm the deal, Chris Steele. I used to be the real deal, Chris Steele. Found out that's really lame.
Who said that?
Well, everyone's the real deal. Something Steele.
Okay, the real. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, so I thought I was being clever.
Yeah.
But turns out I was being not clever.
Okay, I got you.
So now I'm just the deal, because I'm also into real estate, obviously. And I'm like, I'll just be the deal. Because the deal, we have to make deals. Just like you have to make deals. I'm like, okay, sounds good. I'll be the deal, Chris Steele, at least. I've always loved the adrenaline rush of it. It's really, there's nothing like a live audience. It's really kind of weird. You get that instant reaction. This is cool too, but you don't know the reaction until a week later, maybe.
100%.
I mean, same thing. You know that too, because you're like, my video might blow up today or a week from now, or even maybe longer than that.
Which is crazy. Yeah.
Which is crazy.
That's happened before, where I did a video and within the first 5 months, probably not over 100 views.
Yeah.
And then after that, out of nowhere, literally,
I
think it's probably my 4th most viewed video.
So I had something similar to that on the podcast here. I had a girl on, her name was Ashley Harrison. And within that week, she blew up to like the top 3, and the other 2 that were above her were ones that were from 4 months prior.
Okay.
So all of a sudden,
Yeah.
hers blew up. And I don't know if it's because she was a female on there, or what we had talked about had resonated with a bunch of people, or her friends just listened to it and shared it.
Yeah.
Who knows? It's tough to tell those things. But the instant reaction with wrestling is totally different. To me, the biggest high is the entrance when you come out and your gimmick.
Yeah.
And then when you leave. Everything in between kind of sucks because you're getting your ass kicked.
Yeah.
Or
you're hurting or something. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people go, it's fake. It's not fake. It's just staged. It's like a movie.
Yeah. Oh no, it's definitely staged, but it's definitely real.
Yes.
Like you look, and I used to. I mean, everyone. I don't know if everyone, but I love wrestling. Growing
Everyone
up.
watch wrestling.
You watch Jeff Hardy, and he's doing this swan bomb and all this type of stuff. And who's your favorite wrestler?
When I grew up, it was always Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Okay, I was gonna think Chris Jericho.
He's in my top 5.
Okay, there we go.
It's always been. Actually, he might be in my top 4 if I had to choose 4. It was always Stone Cold, John Cena, The Rock, Chris Jericho, and I don't even know if I know a 5th that I would love. I always like Chris Jericho because he could change his character. And be a good guy, bad guy, didn't matter. He was always good at whatever he was doing.
Yeah.
So I always liked him. I don't even know if I have Shawn Michaels would be in there somewhere.
Ooh,
so
that is good. No, that's good.
top 5.
Yeah.
But Chris Jericho's in my top 5 for sure.
What sells me with wrestling is the instant finishers. Like, do you have a finisher, right?
I do.
Okay. So like for me, the Shawn Michaels Sweet Chin Music or the RKO, like I don't like John Cena's like thing to me doesn't sell me.
Takes too long.
John Cena's great. Whatever. Even the choke slam and all that stuff is great. But the Sweet Chin Music, when you can do your finisher in multiple ways, and you see like with Randy Orton, they'll try to have different, like him jumping off the top rope and catching him midair, right?
Randy has some of the best finishers.
Right, or the spear or something like that, right?
Yep.
Where you catch people and like when Edge speared Jeff Hardy off the when he was Hogan,
off
right?
the ladder.
Like those type of things, right?
Oh my gosh.
When you can stage your finisher in bigger moments and make it bigger than what it already is, that's when I think the greatness of the person moves up a little bit more. And to know when we're talking about selling a car to you, you brought that up. Or Andy brought it up, and I was like, what? He does what? And then what's been weird is on my Facebook, you know what's popped up?
Wrestling.
Your
My wrestling.
Your page. Your Facebook page for your wrestling page.
Okay.
And you're sitting there like turned to the side with the glasses on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's weird that Facebook, one, or your phone listens to you.
It's
But then two, like
alright.
we talked about it, and then all of a sudden I'm looking through Facebook and I'm just scrolling through it and I see it. I'm like, that's the page. So it's really funny.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's why I like Stone Cold Stunner, because it can be hit out of anywhere.
and it's quick.
It's quick. So like when Austin beat Shawn Michaels in WrestleMania 14, it was Shawn came with a
Okay,
kick.
how do you know that?
Well, because that was when Stone Cold first won the title.
Okay.
And I'm a Stone Cold guy.
I asked that because when you give off an exact time, it's like, what is it about that made you remember that? And for you to say that was his first time,
It
that's
was
why.
his first title, and Shawn Michaels went to go super kick. Austin catches his foot, spins him in a 360, kicks him in the gut, stunner, 1, 2, 3. Great finish.
Yeah.
And it's just like you said, I love finishers that can pop out of nowhere. So like Randy Orton probably has, in my mind, some of the most iconic finishes.
And they helped him so much too.
And one of them was, it was the WrestleMania. I don't remember exactly WrestleMania, but it was in San Francisco. It was one of the first matches. It was him and Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins went to go give him the curb stomp.
Yeah.
Instead, Randy Orton, instead of that, he popped him up and caught him in an RKO and finished it off.
Because I know he jumps up before he does that, right? Yeah.
And so Randy somehow popped him up and then gave him the RKO.
Yeah.
He also did another one against a guy named Evan Bourne back.
Evan Bourne is crazy.
Yeah, so you know,
Acrobat.
So you
I
know
know
wrestling. Oh shit.
Okay. I was gonna say
right.
like Benjamin when Shawn Michaels gave him Sweet Chin Music when he jumped off the ropes and kicked him. I know I don't know like today's wrestling, like the Roman Reigns, like how he's been in the championship forever. I don't know that. Ever since I think when COVID or a little bit before COVID is when I kind of stopped a little bit. But it's like I'll watch little snippets in there.
Sure.
Like you know, but it's like I like Edge. You know, that the spear and those type of situations, Rey Mysterio and all those type guys. Like I was big when John Cena was big, obviously in it. The late 2000s and 10s and up, whatever. But I know wrestling. I just don't know the new age, you know, the new guys.
And, you know, the new age I'm not big into either because I don't watch it on a daily basis. I'll watch the major ones like here
Have you ever been to like WrestleMania or anything like that?
Not WrestleMania, but I've been to multiple Raws and I've been to Hell in a Cell when I was in Atlanta. But WrestleMania is the one thing I've not been to.
I've not been to one thing, man.
Not one, huh?
Because when when my best friend when I was little went to WrestleMania and I got in trouble, so I couldn't go. I was so upset. But like
in
that
Chicago or what?
I don't know where it was at. Honestly,
like
I'm assuming it was in Chicago.
20 then.
But when I say I was probably around the 10 to 15 range, I remember not being able to go, but I don't remember the age. But my best friend went with his dad. And he invited me to go with him, but obviously I got in trouble, couldn't go.
Gosh.
And when I say I have not, my dad has been, and my dad is not even like He's not like that crazy about it. I don't normally
Sure.
him talk about it, but he's been. And I'm like, Raw and SmackDown has been going on longer than almost The Simpsons when it comes to being consistent on Monday and Friday. And I think if not longer than The Simpsons because they have not missed the episode every Monday or Friday.
Right.
And to not be the not one situation. Like, I don't know how I have it. I don't know.
I want to go to WrestleMania, and when it comes somewhat, I almost went to the WrestleMania 30 when I was in New Orleans because I was living in Atlanta at the time. I almost went there because it was like a 4 or 5 hour trip. Didn't go. I don't know. I wasn't big into what the matches were, so I was like, it's not worth my $400 or $500.
100%. Yeah.
But if it comes somewhere nearby, everyone thought next year was going to be in Minneapolis. Turns out it's going to be in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Everyone keeps saying, "Oh, it's going to be in Minneapolis this year. It's going to be in Minneapolis." It has yet to be there.
Yeah.
If it does, though, I will definitely for sure go to that because of the fact that, for one, you got to go to WrestleMania. But the other thing I always wonder is, do they sell tickets for both nights now? Because it used to be a one-night event.
It's a 2-night event.
Now it's a 2-night event since COVID.
Really? They haven't went back to.
They haven't gone. No.
Huh.
So this past year, I had a WrestleMania party here, but I did Saturday so everyone can come, have some beverages, relax. They don't have to go to work the next day. And then the following day, my buddy, he went to, he had a little get together at his house, and it was like, damn, it's like 9 o'clock at night, 9:30. Like, we got to get up for work the next day, but I'm staying, but it's not a big ass party. So it was like, it was a good mix of the two. I'm like, I'll always host Saturday if they're going to keep doing this 2-day thing.
Yeah.
Because I hosted here.
Yeah.
And hosting it here, everyone comes. I think we had like 40 or 50 people here. Potluck style, we just did all this stuff.
Pretty
but
nice, yeah.
I always want to go to one still just to have the live experience. But obviously watching it on the TV is way easier.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, you like get all the commentary.
You get up close.
Yeah, you got the best view, but I think you gotta be there. So like I told my buddy, I'm like, if the Wolves for some reason go to the finals,
you have to go. Yeah.
I am going.
Yeah.
I go.
At least the one game. Every other game you can watch. Yeah.
Nope, I don't need to go any more than one game. But we're gonna go and we're gonna experience that if it happens.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, then I guess I can save up more. But WrestleMania is one of those things too.
Yeah, and it's weird because I've never thought about it until now. Like once you brought it up and said it, like all of a sudden, obviously more wrestling stuff pops up, and then you realize like when I look at it now, it's so different because obviously so much social media goes into it, and now they're doing post wrestling like interviews, and I'm like, what? A post after your match, you got a post wrestling interview. I'm like, all right,
dude, they're making this big time.
Yeah,
they're like making like real sports,
which is crazy. Like when you really think about it, and it makes exciting too because like anything that's getting more publicity is I like it, like that WNBA. College basketball and women's basketball and stuff like that. All stuff is getting more publicity because of social media.
Yep.
I love it, and that's why I say with your reactions or your podcast and stuff, like using snippets to get on TikTok, Instagram. Use the reels on YouTube.
What's your
YouTube
best
loves
one?
you more.
YouTube loves me more.
YouTube loves you more when it comes to the reels.
That's my mommy and daddy.
I have for you. I put a reel on YouTube and the same reel on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
I have over 2 million views on YouTube, and that same exact video on TikTok has like 300 views.
Sure.
I'm talking about 300 versus 2 million. And I'm talking about I have more comments. I have over I think 3,000 comments on that reel on YouTube, and it's an Eminem us reacting to an Eminem, and Eminem fans are crazy. They respect and they comment under Eminem content.
Absolutely.
But I'm like, how is one video so popular on one website and the other is just not getting it? And I feel like I said, the sound is what gets TikTok.
Sure.
YouTube doesn't really focus on the sound; it just focuses on the quality of it. Yeah, like I think sometimes I don't know.
So if I were, so I started doing this. I only have 2 of them because I'm learning it as well. Because my wife told me this is the best thing you should do. Mm-hmm. So you're saying YouTube is the best?
From my experience, one, because you're already on YouTube with this.
Yep.
Right.
Gotcha.
And I think if you want to take a snippet, and I think taking snippets in general is important. But taking a snippet and making sure that you post it on YouTube is important because, one, I don't know how Spotify and them work with their money. I don't know if you're
don't
monetized,
either.
right? But with YouTube, you can get monetized, right? I know how you can get monetized from YouTube is just getting 1,000 subscribers and having that watch hour.
Sure.
Which you having a podcast over an hour, like most of them are around an hour long. You're gonna get that watch time pretty quick. So, and then you don't have to worry about copyright either because you don't really react to music and stuff like that. So it's gonna be pretty nice. So you're just taking those snippets and posting them. All it takes is for one video.
That's what someone told me. They said one video.
You can get over 100 million likes or views on it, or it can get to the point to where you get even 500,000. 500,000 is good enough too, or 100,000. None of my videos have. I don't have a video on YouTube over 300,000 views, but I still have over 34,000 subscribers, right? And I look at, to me, the subscribers on YouTube differently than I do on TikTok, because the subscribers on YouTube normally you're making longer content. TikTok is more really quick snippets.
Sure.
It's almost like what's that one that not Reels, Vine, like Vine back in the day,
like
right?
6 seconds.
Yeah, it's like really close, and it's like trying to make a funny video and stuff like that. Like YouTube is more like you're actually making a longer video. So being able to take those snippets and post it on you, because that's what I love about YouTube is that they made Reels. So I take my videos that I already have and I take a funny clip from it, put it on YouTube also, and then if it blows up, the amount of people that's going to go from that video, that little reel, and go to the actual video to watch it can blow up a lot. So that's what I think that's the biggest thing for you is taking whatever, whether me saying this funny part or not funny or just more educational part, funny or educational, and making it to where when someone sees this that they can, all right. Or like, cause there's gonna be so many other people that's like struggling or like being nervous about making a YouTube channel or something like that. Make it. Do it. Put your content out there, even if it gets 3 views. You look at my TikTok for Dog Toyota that I have, and it's called Thomas from Toyota. You see some videos with 8,000 views on it, and some with 100. Right?
Yeah, that's so weird.
I can't control it.
No,
I can't control it, and it's weird because I feel like some of the ones that's like got lower views are more funny, and I can't do anything about it. So, but it doesn't do anything if you don't post it.
Right.
So it's why
you gotta
not
put
post
yourself
it?
out there.
Why not post it?
But like I was telling you earlier, I'm like, not everyone's okay with like, I want to put myself out there and do this and be kind of silly, because friends definitely do judge. I mean,
and that's sad to think about,
isn't it?
It's sad, and I like it. I like it because haters are also views.
Yes.
Right. If you got someone hating on you, not only do they, especially the real haters, the ones that really, really like dislike what you're talking about. I have people that dislike my videos. To dislike a video is like meaning you really didn't like it, right? But realize that if they dislike the video and they left a comment, realize that that comment alone is going to bring more people to that comment, which more views, more people communicating. If I have a video where I have over 1,000 comments under the video, and some of it is because someone left a negative one and so many people went on that negative one to defend me, right? So it's like, and it's some of the times I react to stuff that it's an artist that is more controversy or an artist that is talking about politics or stuff like that, whatever, right? And it just takes one person, and especially if they know you and the people that's been following you for a while, they'll get on there and they'll defend you. They'll really defend you. And it's like, I always tell people, even if it's a negative comment, it's still a comment. It's still someone reacting to your
if they took that time out of their day to bash on you, that's their problem.
Someone's going to read it.
Someone's going to read it.
And even if they read it, guess what? They may respond after that. Like, so I count it as all positive and all type of revenue at the end of the day. It's going to be somebody there's always going to be haters out there. It's always going to be somebody that's not going to like something that you say or that you do. And as long as you put it out there, it's going to take one video.
Shout out to all the haters.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, shout out on Thomas's haters. My haters, I don't have many. He's got more.
Trust me. You're pretty popular. People know you, man. I've been telling people I'm doing the podcast. It's like, oh my God, really? So people know.
Good.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure I let you know that people know that I'm doing this podcast and people are excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking of this concept, and I've said this on multiple podcasts prior. I'm like, I thought about this back in late summer, early fall. I'm like, why am I not just doing this? Why am I not doing it? I got to start putting myself out there, and if people hate on it, screw them, whatever. Just keep doing it, because same thing you said, like, I've been watching your videos, you're putting things out there that are kind of funny to get people to look at it and then go, oh, what is Thomas doing? Oh, he works at Dahl Toyota. Cool. Oh, he's selling cars. Cool. Let me go in and talk to this guy. I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't know that before this, but now I do.
That's the point. That's what like I was talking with Mina today, who works at
Yep,
Dahl
I know.
Toyota
Yeah,
too.
Mina Lewis, right?
And I was telling her, or no, it was her and somebody over from GMC, the service man, not the service, the finance manager from GMC, and she was saying, hey, when are you gonna come out with some more videos? And it's like, has anybody came in and talked to you about your videos? And I'm like, yes. People come in and say, hey, we saw your video. Or I had someone who literally went on the website, saw my smile, and wanted to work with me.
That's
right?
awesome.
And it's the same thing for you. Like it's gonna be a situation where people they scroll and they want to work with you because of what you look like, and that's okay. I take it 100%. I do. Come on, work with me. I don't care. And
be yourself.
No,
right?
seriously, and that's all it is being yourself, and as long as you when they leave, they don't feel like they got.
Right.
That's all I care about. And it's the same thing with sales. It's the same thing with YouTube. I'm going to try to be as honest as possible. I try not to sugarcoat a lot of things. Some of the videos, I try to only react to videos, which is hard to because I react to videos that are popular.
Yep.
So I normally don't have a negative like, oh my God, this was terrible. Because normally if it's popular, it was really good. But I've had moments where I'm like, this was terrible. Like, I don't even understand how this is even getting views because it's terrible. And people will be like, you're just hating. And I'm like, I'm just being honest also. Like I'm not, but also if I'm sitting here being fake, that's not going to help you either.
Right.
It's all about content and being true to you and you promoting your own brand. So with this stuff, just continue to be who you are and take those little snippets and post them on all the social media. You don't have to worry about, like, people are going to sit there and have a long car drive and know that they can listen to this and be like,
sure. I just had a guy yesterday. He goes, I just started listening to your podcast because you told me to, check it out. And he goes, I thought you'd been doing this for a lot longer. And he goes, you remind me of Pat McAfee. I'm like, cool.
Dude,
that's amazing.
I mean,
I'm
even looking at this stuff that you got, like, this isn't like, this isn't basic stuff. These mics are really good. I mean, to have this type of setup and like, this is not a green screen, guys. All right, this is not a green screen. This is not a green screen.
He will fire that car up.
When I first looked at this and I was like, and I saw the thumbnail and I like clicked on it, I was like, dude, that's an amazing green screen. It like looks at it, but then I thought, I was like, knowing him, it's probably not a green screen. And then when I walked in here to physically see this is live in the flesh. Yeah. All these cars in here, like, and it's like, you got a great setup. You got a great personality. These mics are amazing. The setup is amazing. And now it just takes the little things to blow it up.
Sure.
And then obviously the guests.
Yeah.
Continue putting guests. Try to get Andy on here. I think that's a big guest to try to get on here.
He was all about having you come on and promote. He's like, dude, Thomas would be fantastic.
Yeah, he would be fantastic too, because if he shares it, the amount of people like you who like work with him, all the older the communication to, I mean, not communication, older community who have bought cars and stuff like that. He may not reach the young, like I'm gonna probably reach a lot of the younger community here in Winona. But for him to be able to reach the older community here too and be able to support you, because that's the biggest thing, is the people who can sit there and, like, older people will sit there and be like, they can't sit there and listen to, they'll sit here and listen to a podcast. Sure. Especially if Andy's on there and Andy's talking about stories, because Andy has stories for days. Yeah. And all it takes is for it to be a little bit more publicity, and all of a sudden now you can get somebody with a lot more power, money, and stuff like that. And it's getting that big guest on here and they share it, and all of a sudden you can be, you just keep working, honestly.
I just keep, the one thing is, though, I just love doing this. Like, anytime someone's like, I want to do your podcast, I'm like, awesome. I don't go, oh, darn, I got to carve time out of my day. Dude, no, I'm like, everything, whatever I'm doing today, it's got to be pushed aside because I'm doing this today. And
this is relaxed.
This is so much fun. It's almost like, because we've been sitting here for hour and 28 minutes right now, and I've never looked at my phone because the phone's recording at the moment, so I can't look at my phone. But it's almost like, maybe for some people it might be therapy. They're like, hey, I'm just sitting here chatting with you, and it's just kind of fun, and you get to talk about yourself a little bit. Sometimes it's kind of fun. But before we end this, I got a couple questions for you. For one, you got what, 35 roughly 1,000 viewers?
Close to 34, 35,000.
Okay.
Yep.
So what video has the most views on? It's TLoose
Reacts. Yep, on YouTube.
Okay.
The most views is my Harry Mack video. I have with Darius Manuel. He's a football player from Winona State. Oops.
That's right.
We had a night. My 2 most viewed videos was done in one night.
Really?
Both of those videos was done in the exact same night. And
what are they called, first of all?
Both are Harry Mack. I don't know exactly what they're called. They're both Harry Mack videos, and it's him doing an Omingo. Omingo is like a website to where you can go and meet random people. You click next and it goes to the next person. I don't even know if it's available anymore.
It used to be called chat roulette back in the day, and it was dirty.
Yeah, now it's still Omingo's bad too, right? And so that is one of them, and the other one is him doing it's called Gorilla Bars. Gorilla Bars is him when he goes like around town. So imagine.
Yep.
Winona
I think I
State,
know that one.
Homecoming, and he goes to at halftime for the game, and he meets people around, right? And he just asks them for 3 words, right? Yep. That's that video. He did that at the Lincoln Memorial, I think, and that's the one that got the most views. And it's crazy because, like I said, we did that in one night, both those videos.
And all you do is react to it.
And it's 45 minutes, both of them.
And all you do is react to his
All
bars.
we're doing is react. In the beginning, literally, if you click on the video, in the beginning, me and Darius are both vibing to his song, Darius' song, because Darius makes music too. And we're vibing to his song, and then all of a sudden, we start playing it. And I like Darius because he knows rap. He knows bars and he knows the situation. So when Harry Mack says something, he's like, that was fire. Like that, like I understand how he came up with that. And people nowadays still act like, when is D-Lo going to get back on the, the channel and stuff like that. So those, my top 2 videos are those. My other ones are like with my dad, with Sam, my girlfriend, and with my boy Miles, who does reactions. And I got some by myself. And it's like the top, my top views are like from the Philippines, South Africa.
Really?
Yeah, I'm telling you, they love. I'm telling you, you find if anybody wants to start a YouTube channel or do a reaction, I know exactly what videos you need to react to. Especially if you don't know.
Look at me now. What am I supposed to say? Philippines?
The Philippines, South Africa, Harry Mack,
Harry Mack, South Africa,
some
Philippines.
Joyner Lucas, and like these type of artists have huge fan bases, and when you react to and you're genuine and you're real.
Yep.
When you react to the like especially other countries, when they see their top artists being reacted by an American person, you're giving their top artists publicity in America. Sure. That's the biggest thing. So they love that, and they'll literally put in the comments, "Thank you for reacting to South African rap. We appreciate you," and stuff like that. And it's crazy because you don't know that. You think about like we're here in America. We don't think about like they got rap in other areas and stuff like that.
You definitely do not think about that anywhere. All you think about is what America has, and then they're happening to venture off into this country, this country. You never think about any of it.
It's wild. The Philippines singers, I'm not gonna lie, I think they have the best singers in the world. Like when I say like some of the Filipino singers are competing with Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, like those big times, I'm not exaggerating. And if you think I'm lying, look at the videos. I'm telling you, these people, it's called the Wish Bus, and I don't know what it is about the Wish Bus, but when they get on there, they sound and they perform and they sing and they hit whistle notes and they sing high. Like it's insane. That's awesome. They cover songs from the U.S. They cover like Boyz II Men and artists like that.
Yeah.
And it's not just one. It's like multiple artists that's over there. And when you react to one, they'll tell you about another one. And then all you got to do is listen to what the people that are responding and commented on your video.
Yep.
You listen to them and you write it down and you react to what they're asking for. Sure. Like right now, a lot of people are asking for Christian rap.
Really?
Christian rap.
Wow. The only Christian rapper I know is Kirk Franklin.
No.
It's the only Christian rapper I know. And to be honest, you know what's funny about that?
And he was hilarious. And it's funny because you say that because I think on Easter I had my family up here and I woke them up to Kirk Franklin, the book of Revelations 13.
It's on any given Sunday, dude.
And I'm telling you.
It was on any given Sunday.
Bro, oh my God, you're funny.
He was on Shannon Sharp's show. I'm listening to the podcast right now.
That is literally what people are like, hey, Thomas, react to this Christian rap artist. And it's because they're taking rap and they're making it, obviously rap is known as a negative thing or a thing, right? And they're taking it, and when I say they're putting the beats, and it sounds like the top artists, the top producers are making these beats for these songs, and they are spitting. And
that's a good song.
I'm gonna send you some of these Christian, because obviously you see it on TikTok.
Yep.
Right. And you see these people like doing it. And I'm like, that's not bad. That's, oh my God, that's actually pretty fire. And I'm like, and then I'm starting to see him in my comments and I'm like, people actually want the reaction to us. And you think about it, like, why would you think, like, why? Yeah. And it's like, people want you to like what they like. And if you react and you like what they like and you have the same response that they have, they're going to like you, especially if your personality is obviously good in general. But if you like, oh my God, that was fire. And in their head, they're saying, hell yeah, that was fire too. they're going to like your video. So like, that's my next thing is to do a lot of the reactions they've been asking me to do with the Christian rap.
You know, I think I got to come on your reactions videos.
Dude, I will put you on game. I'm talking about, one, you need to watch some of the ones, the most popular ones. But if you want to get on the Harry Mack video, because those are, to me, my Harry Mack fans.
Harry Mack, he's a white rapper, right? Yep. And he's the guy that kind of just goes out to like a park and says, give me 3 words. And he just crazy goes off.
3 words is the minimum. Jeez. He will walk into a crowd and he will take 8 words.
Dude.
And when I say I'm sitting here and I feel like I would have to write them down, and it's on the screen. It will show you on the screen. But he would have 8 words. And I'm talking about these words. He will tell you. Now he's at the point where he says, no food or no animals. Because he wants you to challenge. He wants a challenge. And he said, in the beginning, he would say whatever. But now he's saying no food, no animals. Sure. Give me something. And when I say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, like he wants these hard words. And now if you say supercalifragilistic, it's like second nature to him. And he's been on obviously radio shows. He's been on Jennifer Hudson's little morning show and stuff like that, where she's pulling stuff out of a bag and he's rapping on that spot. He's rapped for big time artists. Oh, I'm so mad. Soulja Boy and other artists, and they're like, how do you do what you do? And he's just trained to do like the freestyle stuff, and he's obviously trained in doing certain different type of cadences, but he's trained to I 1,000,000% believe he freestyles better than I talk, and I feel like I can talk.
Dude, you're a good talker. You're a good talker.
But he can freestyle better than I can talk. And I'm like, it's crazy that I sit here and I'm like,
crazy talent.
It's crazy. He sits there, he says, I practice. I mess up. And when I mess up, I've learned how to mess up and make it look like I'm not messing up. Right? It's like, to think of that is crazy. And he'll say things like, if he was to rap here, he would probably make a rhyme about every single one of these cars.
That'd be
every
sick.
single one of these posters. The podcast, the alcohol, the snowman sign that's sitting over here. Like, I'm telling you, he would
Nutcracker.
He would rap about he would rap about every single thing, and it's insane for his brain to work like that, and his fans understand that, and they love when people appreciate it. And Harry Mack, his fans are my biggest fans. I love those guys, and they support the hell out of me. I can come out with a Harry Mack video right now, because they stopped Omingo, but if I come out with Harry video, it's gonna get 1,000 views within the first 2 days. Like, it's because they love supporting him.
It's like a cult following a little bit. Seriously. Yeah, dude. Hey, Harry Mack, if you want to, you can always contact me. I'm free.
No, seriously. It would be if he was. I would make so much time for that. I would be here, and I would be here with him, and I know exactly what to ask, because I watch so many videos of him too.
Sure.
And he does so many different things to where, I mean, he has over like 2 million subscribers on YouTube now.
You gotta get me. We should do one of the reacts videos. I would love to, because I'm big into rap. I'm more into like the '90s rap,
which is fine.
But I would react to, like, when I listen to like Lil Dicky. His shit's hilarious.
Lil Dicky's good.
His
freestyles and stuff like that.
They're hilarious.
Yeah.
You gotta get me on one of them sometime. I mean, I know we just met like less than 2 weeks ago. We should do this sometime. Because I would love to do that.
This feels so genuine. Yeah. And so, like, obviously it's not rehearsed. We don't have any notes.
You asked me before, and you go, so do you have any questions? I'm like, no, we're just going to talk.
And that's what I told you. When I did my podcast, it got to the point to where we would have a topic, and we would know when we were going to switch to different things. And sometimes, like, doing this is more organic and more real.
That's why I wanted it.
I'm telling you, if we were to do a reaction, it would be the same way. It would feel just like this.
Yeah.
But within 10 minutes. And that's the crazy thing.
We got to do it sometime,
right? And then all of a sudden you post that, and that 1 10-minute video can get views. And it's because the thing that that I did not like about podcasts is the amount of time you spend editing and
Yep.
how long it is, right?
Sure.
Right? And then you get, sometimes a video cannot get a lot of views, and you're I spent a lot of freaking time.
I know.
I prepped for it. I had an hour set aside, hour and a half set aside. Boom. I edited it for another half an hour, whatever, and I posted it, and 200 views, and it's like, dude, is it really worth it? You sit there and think about it. Is it really worth it? And it's like it takes, same thing I told you, it takes one video.
Yeah,
but what's going to help?
Someone else told me too. One
what's
time
going to help is going to be those small videos because nowadays it's what's keeping people attention. Those TikToks, how Vine was, it's all those type of things. You post that TikTok on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter, on Facebook. I mean, not Facebook, YouTube, and all that. You post that same exact video on every single one. I've been doing those little funny YouTube. I mean, car reaction things, and I post it on every single site.
Sure.
You do it on every single site, and I'm trying to brand myself with that exact profile, whatever. But you do it on every single site, and people just share it. And I got so many people that's on my natural Facebook that share it and get more views. So
awesome.
It's pretty nice, man.
So the last thing I want to leave you with here, just before we leave, because I had 2 questions, and we just got through one of them.
Yep, that's crazy.
Has anyone come in and bought a car from you based on your videos? Has anyone said, hey, I saw you on such and such?
Not yet.
Not yet?
It's only been on, which is it's weird to say not yet, because based on, I've had 3 situations to where people have went on the website and said that they saw me and wanted to buy a car from me.
All right.
Which is different. That's different. That's not even like you saw how I in a video and saw me react. I've had so many people say, "Oh my God, your videos are funny," but not like walk in and say, "Hey, I saw your video. I want to buy a car from you." That has not happened yet. But it's been a lot of like, we saw you that you look nice on the website. Hey, we would like to buy a car from you. I went over to GMC and sold a car over in their lot.
Nice.
For them in their spot, because somebody wanted to buy a car on their lot but wanted to buy it from me based on my picture or whatever, right? And that's nice to hear. I'm like, I didn't even, that wasn't even a professional picture. But I would love to get to the point to where I'm getting more and more people walking in and being like, hey, you're that YouTube guy, or you're that Facebook or TikTok guy that has that fun of videos. I definitely want to buy a car from you. That's the whole point of it.
Well, and we know, if you watch any sort of TikTok, Russ Flips Whips is to me one of the biggest ones. Yep. But you're doing kind of the same thing as he's doing, but you're kind of doing funnier ones.
He has more knowledge. That's the only difference.
Sure.
He knows.
He's been doing it for a while.
No, and he knows what he's talking about. You can tell. Like, I've been thinking about doing scenarios. It's him and it's another black guy with like a lot of hair, and it's a dude that works at Lexus that I really follow. Those 3 guys. I don't know their name, but I know their content because I see it all the time. Yeah. And what with them is that they do the scenarios and they're so funny. Yep. Like the guy I'm talking about, the black guy, he works at Nissan, and he is always like up and close and personal, like with the face, and it's so funny. And what he does is, it's like he does the scenarios, but he's so exaggerated with it. And it's crazy because you think from watching it that that's exaggerated. It's not exaggerated. People come in and they have those expectations, and they say they want 5,000 more than what their trade is worth and all that type of stuff. And he's like, absolutely not. We're not. Like, he's joking, but it's like, that's what happens all the time. And it's like,
I know.
If I can get to that point to where, like, and the Flips guy just came out with a video where he was asked to be a manager. And
I saw that, yes.
And he talked about that. He said he decided not to be a manager, to be just a car salesman, because, one, when you're a car salesman, you have your own brand. Yep. You can promote yourself. It's your business. It's your person. You have so much more time technically away from the business to where you can promote yourself. And then sometimes when you get in finance, you tend to lose that aspect to leave when you're done. Sure. Because you have to be there until the last deal's done. Yep. Same thing with sales. I mean, with the sales manager, you have to leave when the store is closed.
You get to kind of be like your own personality.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Right?
It's all up your alley.
Exactly.
Right there.
And you get to the point to where it's like, it sucks because sometimes the salesman sometimes can make, if not more, on around the same pace as the sales manager when it comes to the stuff, based on how many, because the incentives for a salesman is a lot. It's a lot. And most of the time, the sales manager or the owner of the business makes what the entire, like, makes a percentage off the entire business versus I'm making a percentage off of what I do. So the effort I put in, I can make a lot more money versus I'm making technically the sales manager more money, but I'm overall controlling my overall business and flipping them. I know, like, and it's funny because I look at them and they say they'll say like, oh, this month I sold 25, 30. And I'm like looking at, it's people in Dahl Toyota that sell that.
Yeah.
On average. And I'm like, it's crazy to think about that they do that. And I'm like, I can be doing that. And I know I'll get there eventually to where I can do that. And I'm like, eventually when I get to my knowledge up and I can do what they're doing where I'm doing scenarios and have situations where I can explain stuff, it'll be so cool, man. I know. And it's just, I know I can talk, but I don't know. If I'm not confident, I'm not going to make a video on it.
Well, you seem pretty confident to me. I mean, I walked in, you and me, we did a deal within, I think you and me, the total spent 2 hours together, max. And, you know, now you're on the podcast, and it's been awesome. So I really want to thank you for coming on here, taking time out of your Friday, because this is a Friday. It's your day off, which not exactly your day off because you've already done a deal or two today.
Deals,
you
two
did
deals
2
today,
deals today on your day off. I hate when that happens, but
it's different because my girlfriend's gone. She's in nationals for softball for St. Mary's.
Oh, really?
So
cool.
I was able to. I have a little. Normally, obviously, on my day off, I spend time with her and we do stuff, whatever. But she's gone in Indiana, so I was able to work and do this.
Yeah.
You know, and prep for her to come back.
That's awesome.
And try to surprise her with some stuff, whatever.
That's amazing.
But trust me, it's busy, and it gets to the point to where now I'm really trying to hone in on this craft.
That's amazing, dude. I appreciate you coming on here. I just want to give you a big thank you and a big cheers. And we're gonna head this out with a cheers on. We're having Driftless Glen. I actually love this bourbon.
I've loved this. Yeah, it's been very good.
But if you guys want to go check out Thomas, he's got TLoose Reactions on YouTube. Go check it out because I want to be part of it as well. I love being in front of a camera, as most of you have known by now. I want to be part of everything, and I want to blow up as well. But the only way I can blow up, guys, is if you subscribe, like, comment on the channel of YouTube. And if you're not watching on YouTube, go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. Go to all those, subscribe, listen. And if there's any people you would like on, or if you are a person that would love to be on this podcast, contact me. Some of you know me personally, some of you don't, but I would love to see you. And again, Thomas, thank you so much for coming on. This has been amazing. We've been going for an hour and 45, dude.
Which is crazy.
This is crazy.
This is crazy. And when I tell you guys, this has been nothing scripted.
Nothing
it's been
scripted.
Just a genuine conversation of him communicating with me and me asking questions back. He's lucky that I didn't ask more questions because it's crazy when you really think about how much he does. We didn't talk about real estate. You know what I mean? Like we didn't talk about so many things. So it's like he's a good guy, and I would definitely love to do this again or be on with somebody else and stuff like that too. And we're gonna be definitely connecting more in the future.
Perfect. Well, thank you again. I want to give you a big cheers.
Yep.
Thank you, Thomas, for coming on, and everyone. This has been another episode of Brews and Crews. Cheers.
Cheers.